So for game number 1, all right, we're gonna be working on some hip toss and some single leg stuff today, because the single leg is a really good counter to the hip toss, so it kind of makes sense to work them together. But the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna practice our grips, right? So I'm gonna start out with, not you. So we're gonna start out with a collar grip and a sleeve grip, all right? So partner A gets to start with a collar grip and a sleeve grip. Remember, for those of you who have not done a lot of gi before, you're not allowed to reach inside the grip, inside the gi sleeve like this, because if he starts twisting his arm around, it's gonna twist my fingers up and that can hurt you really bad. So we can either grab like a pistol grip, so we grab it and we bunch it together like this. We can grab it as a cat's paw grip, so I just roll it and I grab here. Or if you just wanna grab like the side, that's totally fine. Just don't reach inside the sleeve, right? You are allowed to reach inside the collar, so I'm gonna go thumb inside the collar and I'm gonna grab nice and high. For those of you that have been here for a while and done a lot of no-gi, you wanna think about this like a collar tie, right? So I'm gonna be up here, I don't wanna be like down here by his belly button, right? So I'm up here, nice and high, right? I've got my elbow pinched in, and I've got my sleeve grip, right? My job is just to maintain this grip as long as I can, all right? I can't win this game, I'm just trying to get a high score. Johnny's job is to pick up my leg, all right? He's just gotta pick up one leg, boop. If he elevates it, that's a win for him. And then we switch, all right? We alternate, we're gonna alternate every time there's a win, all right? If I'm being lazy with my grips, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm just chilling here, right? He's not even gonna have to break my grips, he can literally just pick up my leg, right? So I need to make sure that I'm being active with my grips, right? So I get the leg, right? I need to be active with my grips and with my good stance, right? So that he can't just grab my leg. He's gonna have to figure out how to break those grips first, right? However he wants to break. And then he's trying to elevate my leg, right? So every time somebody's able to elevate the leg, you're going to switch. So one person starts with the grips, right? My job is just to maintain grips. Other person's job is to break grips, right? And pick up the leg. Or if you can pick up the leg without breaking grips, totally fine too. All right? Nice.
I'll switch it. How's it going?
Hey, I got a question. So for the starting position for this one, I'm gonna let you guys start in the hip toss position, all right? So I'm gonna have you go sleeve grip, and then the one that was on the collar is gonna come around, and you can go one of two places. I can either go, I'm not gonna throw you, don't worry. Can either go to the lat, which is here, right? And I can grab either just kind of onto the armpit or even onto the fabric. Or if you prefer, if it's easier, you can just grab onto the belt. A lot of times when I'm doing these games with the kids, they have an easier time grabbing onto the belt. Personally, I prefer to grab onto the lat just because I feel like I have more control, and it also translates better for no-gi. So if you want to be able to do these throws no-gi, I would recommend trying to do more towards the lat. But feel free to go wherever you feel more comfortable with. If you feel like you want to start out with the belt and then move to the lat, that's totally fine as well, right? I want you guys to pay attention to where my hip placement is, right? See how square my hips are with his hips, right? I'm not just being like here, right? I'm not gonna be able to throw him from here. I'm not gonna be able to get good elevation from here. I need to make sure that I'm fully turned and I've got my hips fully square, and I'm not way over here either. That's usually where people run into trouble with this elevation drill, is they're a little bit too shallow and they're not fully underneath their partner. Does everybody see that difference? All right, from here, all right, this is the starting position. From here, my job is to elevate him as many times as possible. I'm not throwing him yet, all right? So try to be mindful of your partner, right? We're just elevating. Both feet come off the ground as many times as I can. All I'm doing here is I'm keeping this grip, right? And I'm keeping this grip, and I'm just popping my hips up. I'm not expending a ton of energy, all right? His job is to figure out how to escape this position and pick up my leg, right? So all he's trying to do is he's trying to turn, so he turns around, and he tries to pick up my leg. That's it. If he picks up his leg, he wins. And then we switch. And then he would be in the hip toss position. He's trying to elevate me as many times as possible. And then I'm trying to get to the single. I come around, I'm either in the lat or I'm on the belt, whichever one you prefer. My hips are nice and squared up. I'm in a good stance. My feet aren't super close together, right? I'm just trying to elevate as many times as possible. I can't win, all right? Sean's job is to figure out how to pick up a leg. As soon as he's able to pick up a leg, he wins. And then we switch.
I'm like, what's wrong with me?
One is probably easier than the other.
Start there.
More on the rib. Yeah. Yeah, the key to throwing is to get your hips in the way.
I just shot because you were taller.
Well, you do have an advantage.
Oh, right.
Trying to throw you, I gotta get way down.
Oh, wait, are you switching or?
You guys have a minute left? Alright, so we're going to start with the same grips that we had in the first game. Alright, so I'm going to have collar nice and high, and then I'm going to have sleeve. However you prefer to grab the sleeve is totally fine. Remember guys, we're not grabbing a cross collar grip, we're grabbing same side grip. Everybody see the difference there? So this would be a cross collar grip, I'm grabbing a cross, like I'm doing an X choke, alright? This would be a same side grip, meaning I'm grabbing the same side, alright? My job is to get from here to the hip toss position and elevate both feet, all right? If I'm able to elevate both feet, I win, all right? Johnny's job is to pick up the single leg, same as the first game. So if he's able to pick up my leg, that's a win for him. And we switch, all right? So both players can win now. We're not quite throwing each other yet. We will get to that, I promise. If I'm here, right, and I get all the way to here, if he figures out how to pick up my leg before I'm able to elevate him, that's still a win for him, all right? So every time somebody wins, we switch positions.
No?
Good job, kid. Can I?
It's like I'm so close, I gotta get this one.
Alright, you try to tell me. Send me a screenshot and how.
Nice, that's my way. Beautiful. That was really good.
You know, worst thing is Tracy is.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I got that one on camera.
That was good.
So we're starting in this position, right? I'm starting collar grip, sleeve grip, all right? My job is to get all the way to the hip toss, all right? So just like we were doing with our break balls this morning, excuse me, at the beginning of class, we want to make sure that we're slapping the mat. We're not posting and reaching out behind us because we can hurt our arms, right? And we want to make sure we're keeping our chin nice and tucked so that we don't hurt ourselves, right? So I'm going to throw you, right? So I come around. See how he kept his head up and he slapped out, right? That's what's going to prevent you from getting hurt. I would recommend, if you have not been thrown before, doing one or two nice and easy with your partner, nice and controlled. I'm not like trying to kill Johnny, okay? If you're like really having to force the throw, something's not right? So if we're trying to force it and it's not working, we don't just keep forcing it, right? Because then somebody can get hurt. We want to make sure that we can use our strength, absolutely. I'm not saying don't use strength and don't try hard to get the technique. I'm just saying don't start to spaz. Like if I really can't get it, I'm not just gonna be like going crazy, right? I want to make sure that if something's not working, I'm making sure that I'm trying to see, okay, where are my hips aligning? Am I too close? Am I not close enough, right? So one more time, my job is to go from sleeve and collar. I need to figure out how to get to the hip toss position and throw, all right? His job, turnabout's fair play, right, is to pick up my leg and finish the single leg. However he would like to finish it, Again, notice big slap. I'm keeping my head up, right? These are mats, obviously, so like it's not gonna be like you're doing this on asphalt or something, but we still want to make sure we're protecting our head by keeping our chin tucked, right? And that we're protecting our arms by not posting out behind us, and we're slapping instead. Push out for another.
I landed on the wings, so.
That's okay.
I did notice that I like almost like
Body lock.
body locks, and like I feel like that made it harder.
Yeah. So that can sort of have a decent amount of elevation. So it's just like once she figures out how to like throw over confidence, there won't be any time for body lock. Alright, so switch roles.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Alright, you guys have out and
Am I still allowed to go for the single leg?
Yeah.
you're still trying to finish. You can try to finish the single leg.
You win if you take him down with the single.
Woo! Nice. Good break calls right there.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.